Pokémon Legends ZA will bring back Mega Evolution, something that we haven't seen in a Pokémon game since 2018. Yes, Let's Go was almost 6 years ago. You're getting older, I'm already old, we're all gonna be grey in no time. But with the return of this battle gimmick and the game very likely being in the past, check this video out if you have any doubts, there's one Pokémon that we all wish they would explain. So hey, I'm Not So Ace Trainer, and what about Mewtwo? Let's get into it. Mewtwo is a Pokémon that everyone knows. Even people not that familiar with Pokémon will either look at it or hear its name and be like, oh yeah, that guy. It transcended the fanbase and made its way to pop culture to become an absolute icon. So, it makes sense that when building a new form-changing gimmick in a game that is clearly a Kanto nostalgia booster, you'd have that specific Pokémon in your mind. And they sure had it in mind. Like the Kanto starters and a whole bunch of other Pokémon, Mewtwo got the Mega treatment. But not just any Mega treatment. Unlike every other Pokémon except Charizard, Mewtwo got the double Mega treatment. One could say that good things always come in pairs, like liking and subscribing a video, for example. Come on, do it, see for yourself. But the reality is that there was no explanation as to why Charizard and Mewtwo got 2 Mega Evolutions instead of 1. Nobody even questioned the decision when it came to Charizard though. That's a fan-favorite Pokémon and the marketability is insane. Same with Mewtwo in a way, but there was a slight problem with the latter. If Mega Evolution became possible because special or evolutionary stones got blasted with Yveltal or Xerneas energy 3000 years in the past, then why did it somehow affect a Pokémon that did not even exist? Mewtwo has more backstory than the whole Kanto region. But the key takeaway is that Mewtwo is man-made. It was a very recent creation when we played through Pokémon Red and Blue and wasn't in any way connected to events related to the Kalos War. In fact, it wasn't even an idea yet. Then how would they explain it having not only 1 but 2 Mega Evolutions? There are a few ways I can see them explaining this, and they all pass through the upcoming Pokémon Legends ZA. And there's also the fact that I could see them not explaining it at all, but that would not be fun, and we here live for the fun. And so, the first idea is related to a mythical Pokémon that is sometimes little, called Hoopa. Hoopa is one of Kalos' mythical Pokémon, and fun fact, my favorite mythical Pokémon out of all of them. And we likely all thought the same thing the moment a Gen 6 related game was announced. Hoopa will be responsible for some kind of space-time distortion shenanigans in the Pokémon Legends ZA. It was such a key part of the Pokémon Legends Arceus experience that I will be very surprised if they do not bring something similar in the next Legends game. With the power of its rings, Hoopa is 100% the best candidate for this, since it can transport not only Pokémon but entire islands through them, moving them through space. This means that Mewtwo could be transported through them as well, and that could be how this Pokémon shows up in Kalos, in the old Kalos region. There's only one big problem, and that's the same that raises the whole question. Mewtwo is a modern man-made Pokémon, which means that it would have to time travel in order to be in Pokémon Legends ZA. Now Hoopa, according to the Pokémon anime and the movies, can sometimes create space-time distortions where its rings show up. But, and please repeat after me, different forms of Pokémon media have different canons. In the games, Hoopa appears to only be able to move things through space, and that includes different dimensions of course. This could be changed, but for now it hasn't been. Before I go on though, I want to say that this is the one that I wished could happen. It would be just very cool to see Mewtwo just showing up there for a cool boss battle. That would be fantastic. But I'm not convinced yet. Still, what else is there? A cool theory that could be tried out is how Mewtwo's Megastones, just like itself, are man-made. Man-made Megastones have been a long-existing possibility, of course, talked about since the days of Pokémon X and Y exactly because of Mewtwo. While this would mean that Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y would not be part of the new Legends game, it could also set up possible future storylines where more man-made Megastones were created. After all, I do believe that Gen 10 is likely going to have Mega Evolution somehow. Some scientists, maybe a member of Team Quasar, could develop some extra interest in Mega Evolution and start some research that would eventually lead to them being created in the future. If the life force of Pokémon is such an important part of what makes a Megastone, then it wouldn't be strange. If the Divan Corporation harnessed this same power and created Infinity Energy, then someone else could do it on a smaller scale as well. Still, none of these theories is the one that I believe will happen, and sadly, I think that it might be something different that also, just like this last one, ends up with Mewtwo not being part of the game. On the previous video, I said that I believe that every Mega Evolution would return, but if there is one that has the highest chance of not returning, that is the Gen 1 Legendary. Unless there is time travel stuff. If there is time travel stuff, anything is possible, but if it is just space traveling, well then Hoopa might be responsible for bringing another Pokemon from Gen 1 into the mix. Kalos has a very low number of legendary plus mythical Pokemon, standing at only 6, which means that we might end up seeing some special Pokemon making surprise appearances in the game. One of those Pokemon could be Mew. It always felt to me that Mewtwo having access to 2 Mega Evolutions, or even Mega Evolution in general, would be connected to the fact that he is a clone of Mew, a Pokemon said to have the DNA of every single Pokemon. This means that the life force of other Pokemon might be able to somehow react with his body and change it. Mew is also a Pokemon that can loosely be tied to Kalos, since we have the painting A Man and Mew in the Lumiose Museum, about which the audio guide says, "They say a man of power at the time forced the artist to add the mythical Pokemon Mew to spread the word of how great he was." Maybe this happened around the time of Pokémon Legends ZA, and he asked for that because of rumors of a Mew being around the area, just to make it seem like he had it, it was his Mew. Mew is still considered a Pokemon that is extremely rare, despite theories that it lived in great numbers in the primal days. That means that it would be very hard to use a Mega Stone on it, or at least find one to use a Mega Stone on. So it could have a Mega Evolution. But now you're asking, then if it has a Mega Evolution, then why can't we use it? Why can't we use it nowadays? And then let me ask you this, do Mega Stones last forever, or do they eventually run out? Rayquaza consumes meteoroids and accumulates their power, the same that is in the Mega Stone, inside its Mikado organ. It fills it with that power, but if it can fill it, that means the energy can also fade away. So, could Mew have had a Mega Stone but not have it anymore? Imagine a Mega Stone filled completely with the life force necessary for Mew to Mega Evolve. In fact, Mega Evolved twice, Mega Mew X and Mega Mew Y, similar to Mewtwo. Now imagine that the Mega Stone stood there for centuries, its power fading away and slowly disconnecting from Mew's own life force. In fact, imagine us being the last person to Mega Evolve it in Pokémon Legends ZA. But one day, a Pokémon is created using Mew, a clone named Mewtwo. This Pokémon isn't Mew, but it is similar to it, though its power comes from man-made technology. It could be that it needs different, or in this case, less life force to react to it and Mega Evolve, which could have led people to believe that those Mega Stones, the ones they call Mewtwonite X and Mewtwonite Y, were always meant for Mewtwo, while in reality, they are remnants of lost Mega Stones that were once tied to the mythical Pokemon Mew. Stones that, had their power never faded, would be known as Mewtwonite Y and Mewtwonite X. But that is all I have for you today. I believe that Mewtwo's Mega Evolution will be explained through Mew instead. But what about you? Do you believe Mewtwo will be in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. Also, you can become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel. I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.